So today I'm sharing 101 ways to save money on your grocery bill. You're not going to believe all the ways you can save. Store your onions in the refrigerator. Then when you cut them, there will be no crying. Now, look here. See, just so you know, I'm not editing anything. No tears, no tears, no tears. Gases from the onions fall instead of rise, because cold falls instead of rise. And then you won't cry when you cut them. Lori says, I heard if you keep your freezer full, it's easier on electricity. Yes, it is. If you do not have your freezer completely full, at least keep bottles of water in there or something. Bottles of water is the best one to keep in there. But it is not, it takes less power to keep it cold when it's full, because all of that cold food is giving its own insulate, giving its own coldness to the freezer. If you keep bottles of water frozen in there, then if you lose power, it doesn't take so much electricity to keep your freezer going all of the time. Use a meat thermometer, then you do not have to guess if your meat is done. If your meat doesn't get done, then just throw it in the microwave and nuke it for 20 or 30 seconds and it will probably be finished. Think outside the box. I got these sprinkles on clearance after Easter, but I used them for Halloween cookies, just the green and the purple for Halloween cookies. So think outside the box when you're finding good deals. Make your own pancakes and waffles. This really doesn't take that much time. Maybe you don't want to do it on the weekdays, but just use pancake mix if you're not confident in making your own pancakes. This will at least save you $20 going through the drive-thru for the family in the morning for breakfast.
We've got a really good hot chocolate mix in here. That recipe is so good. If you're having to use up some of your expired dried milk or things out of your pantry like that, that is a really good recipe to use expiring powdered
Your
sugar.
stockpile milk.
Dried milk.
And the pudding recipes in here. I got this ham for 87 cents a pound, cut it up, pre-packaged it, and now all I have to do is pull out little ham packets, throw it in the microwave, the pan, or the oven to warm it up, make some instant mashed potatoes and some baby carrots, and you've got a quick and easy dinner. I absolutely refuse to pay good money for things like these pre-packaged muffins here. Mix this with some water, sprinkled some cinnamon sugar on top, put them in my $1 muffin tin and my $8 toaster oven at the thrift store. Now we'll have homemade muffins while we're doing our remodel. I use the baking mix muffins out of our Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1. These mini homemade muffins cost me less than 25 cents to make for all of them. Freeze those things you didn't know you could freeze. Yes, I freeze my shredded cheese and my block cheese. I also freeze all of my meat in their packages. I don't waste time or energy repackaging them. I just throw them straight in the freezer, and I have never had a problem with freezer burn. I talked to the cashier and she said the #1 things that are purchased at the grocery store are the pre-cut fruits and vegetables, the deli meats, the junk food, and drinks. If you guys cut all of those things out, you will literally save thousands of dollars on your grocery bill every year. I made these muffins with dry milk. I ran out of milk, so I used dry milk instead for my baking. Use substitutions instead of running to the grocery store. Use your grill. If you do not feel like cleaning up the kitchen, break out the grill, get some frozen hamburger patties, throw them on there. In just about 10 minutes, you have dinner with no mess.
Okay.
I love my immersion blender / mini food processor. I don't even own a big food processor. I just wouldn't use it that much. But this way I get 2 appliances in one, my hand blender and a mini food processor for when I need it. Don't buy appliances you don't need, or get appliances that will do more than one job. Kimberly says, I want a small chest freezer, but I currently don't have one. I make it work with my side-by-side. I play Jenga with the freezer, fit it in an unbelievably amount of food. That is a huge myth. So you have to have a separate freezer to save money on your grocery bill. It helps and it's convenient, but it's not a necessity. Save your pickle juice and use it as a marinade on your chicken. Oh my goodness, it is so delicious. This right here is a sweet and spicy one that we love. And this is not a sponsored post, but oh my goodness, we love these sweet and spicy pickle chips. So just pour it over your chicken and let it marinate. Yum. Then also to save on groceries this week, I got light mayonnaise, and I decided I don't like light mayonnaise. I want regular mayonnaise. I'd rather eat less regular mayonnaise than to eat the light mayonnaise. I just don't like it. But instead of wasting $4 worth of mayonnaise, I decided to mix the two and put them in my other squirt bottle. This literally took me 2 minutes, and I saved $4. Then I combined the regular and the light together in the same container, so next time I'll just refill it and I won't have to mix it back and forth. This way I got them down to one bottle and saved room in my refrigerator. And Janet says stir fries are a good, cheap way to eat with chicken or cut of meat. Yes.
Yes.
Take advantage of stir fries. Oh my goodness, we love stir fries. As a matter of fact, I should do that. We haven't done it for a while.
Use your leftovers in a stir fry,
Yep.
you know.
All those bits of chicken that you pick off that nobody wants to finish eating, we put it in stir fry. I do the beef, I do all of it, pork, all of it in a stir fry. And
learn to stretch your meat, you know, in sauces and casseroles and that type of thing.
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
stretching your meat. Meat is to be used as a condiment, not as a main ingredient.
Yeah.
If you're going to save money on your grocery bill, you get your protein in other cheaper ways other than roasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You get it other cheaper ways like buying chicken thighs, chicken drumsticks when they're 69 cents a pound, 39 cents a pound. Your beans, but you know,
use filler foods too.
just
Have
fill
the
up with
family
those.
fill up on
Yeah.
foods and just have the meat and the more expensive things as a little bit of a
Yeah,
side.
have a taco salad instead of eating
Big old hamburger.
a hamburger, type thing. If you can get lettuce for cheaper. Now
Yeah,
lettuce
lettuce
is
is
kind of
starting-
high. Florida Glitz says, if you have a garden, it saves big time. I made amazing spaghetti sauce right from the garden, 100 jars or more. Yes, if you like to garden, it's good to do that. But don't think you have to have a garden either. That's another myth. You don't have to have a garden to save money on your grocery bill. You don't have to have a freezer to save money on your grocery bill. And you don't have to have coupons to save money on your grocery bill. Vicky says, I made my own spaghetti sauce before and it cost me a lot more money than if I just bought a bottle of ragu. So, yes, it does not always save money to make your own homemade things. People think, oh, I have to make my own homemade bread. Oh, I have to make my own homemade cakes. I have to make my own spaghetti sauce. No, it does not save money. First of all, I get my cake mixes and brownie mixes after Christmas and after Halloween for like 25 to 50 cents a box. I got them for 7 cents a thing and 18 cents a thing 2 Halloweens ago. And we've been eating purple and green and black cakes for 2 years. And so it doesn't always save to pay or to make your own things at home all the time. People have that misconception and it's not true. Homemade bread is a perfect example. You can get homemade bread for $1.10 now, a loaf. Listen, the ingredients are like 50, 60 cents and it probably costs you like 5 cents for oven electricity time. But by the time of your amount of effort, you can use that time and energy for bigger money saving things like going to the thrift store and getting polos for Mike for $1 instead of buying them for new, or something else, learning how to sew and fixing a shirt that you have.
Or like you fixed the cabinet the other day,
Yeah,
door.
like I fixed my kitchen cabinet door the other day, and instead of hiring someone to do that. And so making bread, that's fine if you want to do it. I make my own bread all the time. I have no problem with you making bread. But to actually say it's saving money, you may use your time more wisely to do something else. If you want to save money on your grocery bill, buy your meat only when it's on sale. We've been eating lots of chicken, and this petite sirloin steak went on sale for $4.57 a pound. So I got 8 pounds worth. Each of these packages is 8 servings. I'm going to cut it up and freeze it for soups and stews. 7 packets of meat all ready for my stew in my Dining on a Dime cookbook and my beef stroganoff in my Dining on a Dime cookbook. If you really want to save money, only buy meat when it's on sale. Use what you have on hand. I had the zucchini and tomatoes left over right around Christmas time. I know I went 2 months with my tomatoes ripening in the house after I harvested them. But I used up the last of my zucchini and tomatoes and made zucchini boats. It was super yummy in December. So use up what you have. Eat sun-dried tomatoes with the rest of the tomatoes I had. Take your tomatoes and you cut them in half and you put them in the dehydrator, and then you have nice dehydrated tomatoes. We're gonna fill our jar. little bit of salt. This recipe is in the description below. Our garlic powder, Italian seasoning, and our peppercorns. Stir that all together. Then refrigerate for 1 to 2 months, and you have delicious homemade sun-dried tomatoes. Stop eating out. Guys, make your own egg sandwiches for breakfast in the morning. Really, it takes literally less than 5 minutes with this cute little microwave egg cooker in the description below to make your own homemade egg sandwich for 50 cents instead of $3 or $4 that you will spend buying it at McDonald's on your way to work. And it will probably take you less time. Cook one-pan meals, stop making dinner complicated. These peachy pork chops in our Dining on a Dime cookbook are super easy. Takes about 10 minutes to cook, and you got dinner on the table for $5 or less for the entire family, not just one serving, the entire family. Next, I had a failure with my muffins. I must have mismeasured, and the batter didn't come out of muffin consistency. It came out more of a cake consistency. So what did I do? Instead of putting it in muffin cups, which I probably could have done, I just threw it in a pan and made a muffin loaf. And as you can see, the boys gobbled it up. Get yourself some easy appliances like this rice cooker. Makes perfect rice every time. It was just $3 at the thrift store. And I have perfect rice for dinner in just 20 minutes for literally 10 cents a serving. Use mini chocolate chips instead of the big regular chocolate chips. By using the mini chocolate chips, I can use 1/4 of a bag in an entire recipe. You can see, yes, here is 1/4 of a bag in my muffins. Plenty of chocolate in these muffins, and it only cost me about 50 cents. Make your own dried herbs. I could not find cilantro in the store, and it was actually cheaper to buy cilantro, dry it myself, crush it up, put it in my spice container than to buy it already done at the store. Also, I went an extra step and saved the twist ties, so I wasn't throwing away the twist ties either, and was able to save those to use for next time. So save your twist ties and your rubber bands off of your fruits and vegetables. I used my sugar that was all clumpy and getting hardened. In old days, sugar used to come in hard cones and they would shave it off. Sugar is not bad when it's lumpy. Just put it in your container, break it up, and you can still use it just fine. So Mike noticed that the green onions that we normally buy at the store were half the size for the same price. Save the rubber bands, guys. Save the rubber bands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant them. Just a planter that I had outside. We'll get 2 or 3 bunches and put them in this pot. Then we will just harvest them as needed. My friend Kristen from Six Sisters and I were at a conference together, and I look over, and what is she doing? I couldn't believe it. I was so proud of her, my frugal tightwad friend. But I was like, stop, I have to film this. So she had her packet of, I think it was mocha coffee mix is what I think it was. She had some hot water, put it in there, had her little mini mixer. The link is in the description below for all these products, guys. And she was mixing it right in the middle of the conference to save herself the we were in California, so it probably would have been closer to $12 or $13 for a mocha coffee at the Starbucks at the conference center. So I was so proud of Kristen. You go, girl. I had some leftover bread that the boys didn't end up eating. I made it into French toast. Don't throw your dry bread away, guys. Also use it to make breadcrumbs. Super easy. It literally takes like 2 minutes to zap your dried bread pieces in your mini mixer, and then you save yourself $2-3 over buying breadcrumbs for 2 minutes worth of work. When buying kitchen appliances used, know your prices. This food mill was at the thrift store for $25. What? So I was like, seriously? You can get a new one for $22. This was not a good deal. And of course, this food meal sat at the thrift store for almost a year. I haven't checked lately to see if it's still there, but it's been at least a year since it's been sitting there. Why? Know your prices. Everybody knows you can get a new food meal for $22 instead of $25 used. Reuse your parchment paper. Guys, I use this parchment paper to dry my apples. There's no meat or anything on it, so I just turned around and made cookies on it. I just saved my used parchment paper and reuse it. Get everyday things for your kitchen. I got these mini muffin loaves so that when I make my neighbors and friends quick breads, I can just throw them in there. They were, I think, 50 cents. I got a new whisk because mine was rusted for, I think it was 50 cents. And I found these styrofoam cups at the thrift store for 50 cents instead of, I think they're like $4 or $5 now at the store. So look at the thrift store for things that you need, even disposable items like cups and foil pans, those types of things, but make sure it's not cheaper to get them at Dollar Tree. Use up the food you had. I had some chicken with bones that needed to be used up, and I needed the space in the freezer for my good deal coming up next. So I cooked up these chicken leg quarters and shredded them and repackaged them for quick, easy dinners. The same with pork. I did not spend $9 for one meal worth of pork. I made 22 meals for 63 cents for each serving. That is way cheaper than the $2 per serving that it would have cost me buying it pre-made at the store. And it literally took me 5 minutes worth of work to throw this pork roast and the seasonings in the crock pot or Instant Pot. Let it cook until it's really well done and just shred it, and you've already got your homemade barbecue pork. I make my own frozen dinners. I had leftover turkey, threw it in foil, froze it. Then when I need a quick dinner, I just throw it in my pan, add some vegetables to it, and I have quick frozen dinners with less than 5 minutes worth of work. Buy your meats on clearance also. I found this chicken for $1.40 a pound. Yes, this was in January of 2023, so you can still find it. I don't remember, like 40 or 50 pounds of chicken and threw it in my freezer. That's a stinking good deal.
I broke my clip the other day, so instead of throwing it out, I'm just using it. I can still use it for something like this. The teeth just broke on it. But this here thing is what is interesting. I opened this up and was getting ready to eat it, and I looked at it. That's 5 servings. Now, how many people would eat at least half that bag or the whole bag?
How many calories is a whole serving? So you didn't eat anything out of the
bag? No, When I looked, it's 140 calories. So 5 times that.
So that's almost 700 calories just in that small
So see, look, it had air in the rest of the bag.
People wonder why you're fat.
Yeah, and so I opened it up because I was going to eat, and I was looking at the calories and the serving size before I ate it. And look at that. Now, wouldn't most people eat at least half of that?
You are fat because you eat too much food.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
I'm saying that.
Check the serving size out before you eat something, yes. And, the amount.
You guys are wanting Mom's house?
No, don't show my house yet.
Make substitutions. I used beef bouillon cubes instead of beef broth. This saved me at around $1.50, and it was only like 5 cents for a bouillon cube. Instead, you get beef broth, and you will save a lot of money. Trade or barter. I have a friend who has chickens laying eggs, and she needed some egg cartons, so I traded her some of my egg cartons for eggs, and I got free eggs. You might have to do some work to save some money, but it will definitely be worth it. Look how I just saved around $600 to $700. O'clock in the morning. So I'm headed out to Ridley's to see if I can get some of their meat. So honestly, I just want to stay in bed, but I'm doing it for you guys to prove we can still get cheap groceries. People will wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning to go to work. They won't wake up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning to go save money at the same time, and probably save more money than they would actually earn. You might start thinking about it in those terms. And that will help you when you're looking for bargains to keep you inspired. $2.77 right here. That's actually a pretty good deal. I'm wondering if it's going to go down cheaper. So what I might do is just get 2. $3.99. Oh, look at this. $2.77. And I probably saved, this is probably close to $800 to $900 worth of meat for less than an hour's worth of work if you include drive time. I mean, it was like 30 minutes worth of work if you include drive time. You can't tell me that's not worth it, guys. It's definitely worth it. 60 pounds of bacon. Honestly, it doesn't really look like that much. And this is why I'm remodeling the kitchen. Buy your groceries on sale. One's 97 cents and one was $1.27. So for $1.77, 97 cents a half gallon. It's for $1.27. Gobbled it up before I could even film it hardly. Was it $1.47? 75% off. Make your own cakes. Yes, I saved $12 by spending 10 minutes worth of work and making a cake for my husband's birthday instead. Use your Instant Pot, crock pot, whatever convenient cooker you have, but by using these tools, you can have homemade meals in 5 minutes or less. Let them cook all day, and when you come home from work, you will have dinner ready to put on the table right away. No matter what kind of roast, I just get whatever's the cheapest on sale. This was on sale for $3.99. Add your beef broth or just water, 1 to 2 cups, depending on how much gravy you want. Then sprinkle with seasoned salt. The link for the recipe for the homemade seasoned salt and the pot roast are in the description below. And you're going to turn your roast on for 90 minutes. Is your mouth salivating, ready for dinner? Yep. All right, let's dig in. Watch your ads here in Wyoming. Tuesday and Wednesday are when our ads come out, and I head to the grocery store that day if they have something good, or trucks come on Friday here, so if they don't have it in stock, I will head over on Friday morning and check and see if it came in on that truck, but stock up when things are on sale. If items are expensive like ghee, I'm on a dairy-free diet, so I use ghee all the time. I make my own. It's so simple. You just put your butter in a pan 3 times the size of the pan, let it simmer for about 30 minutes on medium-low heat. It will separate the fat from the milk protein. Then you just scrape off the foam on the top, pour your separated fat into your containers, and leave the milk proteins on the bottom of the pan. You have ghee, which is also called clarified butter. This amount of ghee would be about $15 at my store, and I spent $6 on it. Don't throw away leftover heels of bread or bread that has dried out. I make croutons. Another recipe in my Dining on a Dime cookbook. It is so easy. Just put some olive oil or regular oil on your dried out, broken up pieces of bread, sprinkle some garlic powder, sprinkle some Italian seasoning and a little bit of salt, and you're ready to go. They're ready to go in the oven to bake just a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on how brown you want them. You can find this recipe also in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1. Dehydrated these hot peppers in my Ninja air fryer. Then I put them in my little mini food processor, blended them up. Now, whenever I need some jalapeno, like for my green chili in my Dining on a Dime cookbook, that's one of our favorite recipes, I will just use a little bit of dehydrated jalapeno that I always have on hand. I make my own convenience foods by buying hamburger in 5 or 10 pound packages, and when I go to cook hamburger, I just cook it all up at once and put it in these little fold top baggies, which are a lot cheaper than freezer bags. Put them in the fold top baggies, and then I put all the baggies in a big freezer bag and freeze them, and I pull out the individual packets, and it's all browned and ready for my dinners. Stop making complicated dinners. This is one of my easiest recipes. I just take bone-in chicken with the skin, sprinkle it with a little seasoned salt, put it in the oven, let it bake for about 30-45 minutes. Throw in some potatoes and carrots if you want also, or make up some rice and a salad. Super easy, literally 2 minutes worth of work for dinner. Literally 2 minutes, and everybody loves the homemade crispy chicken that comes out of the oven. It is super easy to make homemade guacamole and freeze it, and it tastes 1,000 times better than the store. All I do is peel and chop up my avocados. I use my handy dandy meat chopper for this. You can just use a fork if you want. Then I add lime or lemon juice, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, chopped up jalapenos or dried jalapeno powder, and a little bit of tomatoes chopped up if you would like. I was able to make all of these avocados into guacamole, just about 15 minutes worth of work, and I got them all packaged up in the freezer. They don't turn brown because of the lemon or lime juice in the guacamole. This is what they look like after it's been frozen several weeks. This recipe is in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 2. Don't throw away food. My bananas were starting to turn dark. I just throw the whole thing in the freezer. Okay, so see how it's squishy, it's defrosted. So you can peel it like this, or you can take the end off and just squish it all out. Then you can see it's just already mashed. You don't even really have to mash it. Then I can use it to make banana bread, banana muffins, whatever. I just pull out a frozen banana or two, let it defrost. No work hardly at all. The same goes with sour milk. And my milk has gone sour. Each of these is 2 tablespoons. So I just pour my milk in and fill it up. And then I know that 2 of these is a 1/4 cup, 8 of them is a cup. When I need to make muffins, waffles, whatever. Bacon grease, save your great bacon grease. You guys saw I got 60 pounds of bacon on sale. Well, I am not letting all that valuable liquid gold go to waste. Bacon grease is one of the best flavoring agents you can use for your cooking in green beans. You can grease bread pans for like cornbread or regular bread, and it adds a really good flavor. Use it to make your scrambled eggs, to make your breakfast skillets. I even add it to my potato soup when I don't have bacon on hand, and it gives the bacon flavor without the expense of bacon. If the kids aren't eating something like they weren't eating this cocoa cereal, I don't know why, but they weren't. After it sat in the pantry for a couple of months, I decided to make it into Cocoa Crispy Treats. Yes, as soon as I did that, they were literally gone in an hour. The boys devoured it, and I got the cereal used up and out of the pantry. Don't be so persnickety. You really don't need the 12 grain 5 nut bread if you are in debt and trying to save on your grocery bill. Just the regular white sandwich bread is perfectly fine. Save that $5 on the fancy bread and spend $1 on the white bread. Also, they had rice checks on sale for $1.77 this week. I had these coupons from my Cheerios last year, $1 off 2 boxes, so that made them $1.27 a box. We got some for our Chex Mix for Christmas. I got 8 boxes total. Mike and I both went in. It was a limit of 4, so Mike and I both went in. Plan ahead. Thanksgiving sales are coming up next week. So I got out in the garage. I've got 2 freezers, and the little freezer was about 1/4 empty. So I took and emptied everything out, put it in the big freezer, defrosted it, and cleaned it all up. And now I am ready for all the turkey and the butter that is going on sale next week for Thanksgiving sales. So plan ahead, and you can save a ton of money if you just think a little bit ahead and think, okay, what can I be eating in my freezer this week to make more space for the expensive things like butter that are going to be on sale next week, and the super cheap things like turkey for 98 cents a pound. Yes, and I have a feeling it's going to go even lower. So I'm going to stock up on some cheap meat. The next thing is use what you have. So a neighbor gave me some apples, and I was working on dehydrating them. Got a Ninja all-in-one air fryer. Wow, it worked great for dehydrating the apples. I dehydrated in the Ninja, and then I dehydrated some in the oven, and the Ninja actually did a much better job. So the link for that is in the description below. They had scented hand soap for 10 cents a bottle, so I got 24 bottles of hand soap. They had black candy melts. I thought, you know what, actually those might be kind of pretty for Christmas. With red and green and white, it would really make the red and green and white sprinkles stand out for the pretzels and stuff. 40 cents for the candy melts. Brownie mixes with frosting included for 50 cents. I got 5 boxes of those. Next one is Shop Seasonal Sales, a 98-cent turkey. Now, I'm actually doing a video on this. That's why I went ahead and bought it at 98 cents instead of waiting until it went to 48 or 69 cents, depending on what it's going to be here. But I need a video. I did it. I made 8 meals out of one $20 turkey. Next one is Shop Holiday Clearance for groceries. They had the family size of Rice Krispies. Yes, they're orange, but my goodness, Rice Krispie treats for 50 cents a box. Yes, 50 cents a box. I'm going to use these to make our Rice Krispie treats, which are in our Dining on a Dime cookbook volume 2, which is 25% off right now, guys. But we've got some yummy Rice Krispie treats recipes with several different variations. So it's just not your mom's Rice Krispie treat. Always ask. I found this pepper grinder at the thrift store, but it wasn't working right, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And the lady said, well, she said, just take it home for free, and if it works fine, you can just have it, and if it doesn't work, you can just throw it away. And I was like, okay, well, come home. And I had one of the boys look at it, and it just happened to be that the cap was screwed on incorrectly. We got the cap screwed on correctly. So it looks like this was just not on tight enough. And so then when I tried it, let's see, can you see? voila. It actually works. So I got a free pepper grinder right there just because we weren't sure if it worked. Yay! Learn the best way to store lettuce. Now this video hasn't come out yet, but I discovered that lettuce keeps the best if you keep it in its original packaging. Now, here we go. Now that's left in the old package. Now this is left in the original package. This is Mom's idea. She said that lettuce in its original package stays better. Mom, you are right. How does it feel to hear your daughter say that after 50 years? Mom, you are right. So, Mom's idea that keeping it in the original package keeps it fresher. This is 3 weeks in the original package, 3 weeks unwrapped with a paper towel, 3 weeks with the special Amazon film thingy, a huge waste of money. So now you can stop wasting, throwing away perfectly good lettuce because it will last a really long time in your fridge in the original packaging. Tell me guys, what are some ways that you save money on food storage so that you can get the most bang for your buck and your food lasts longer? When you go out to eat, save all the napkins and condiment packet from your fast food. I use these in lunches for the kids to take to school. I'll just throw in a ketchup or a mustards packet or a mayonnaise packet. Then their sandwiches don't get soggy and I'm not wasting money. I just store them in my refrigerator. You don't have to, it's just a convenient place for me, but I just store them in this clear drink container in the refrigerator so I can see easily what I have and I can just pick out what I need. Please go watch this video next for more money saving tips, livingonadime.com.